The stars were silent witnesses to the vast emptiness where the lost fleet drifted. For centuries, many had seen the great ships floating in the dark void, their shapes old and worn, but none had dared to claim them. Most believed the fleet was just a myth, a tale told by explorers and dreamers. But a few brave souls had actually found the ships, and what they saw surprised everyone. The ancient fleet was huge, more powerful than any warships in known space. Its design was strange, yet beautiful in its complexity. Many aliens laughed when they first heard about it. They called the fleet weak and useless. How could old, broken ships threaten anyone? They said it was just an old relic, nothing more. Humans, however, did not laugh. Instead, they were quiet. They knew something others did not. They had secrets hidden deep in their history. The fleet, they said, was not just a myth. It was real, and it was built by humans long ago when Earth was young. The news shocked the galaxy. How could humans, who were seen as small and weak, create such a fleet? Many did not believe it. They thought it was a joke or a lie. But humans did not care about the doubt. They sent a team to the lost fleet. The team was made of the best engineers, soldiers and scientists. Their mission was to explore, to learn, and maybe to bring the fleet back to life. As the human ship approached the fleet, the team felt a mix of fear and excitement. The ships were huge, some as large as small cities. Their hulls were scratched and rusty from years in space, but their shape told stories of power and skill. The humans docked their ship carefully and entered the main ship of the fleet, called the Dreadnought. Inside the Dreadnought, the atmosphere was heavy with silence. The corridors were dark, but machines hummed faintly. It was like the ship was sleeping, waiting for someone to wake it up. The team moved carefully, scanning the control rooms and the bridge. Screens flickered to life and ancient logs began to open. One of the scientists found a message, recorded thousands of years ago by the fleet's first captain. His voice was strong and full of pride. He spoke about the fleet's purpose, to protect Earth and the humans from great dangers. They had built these ships to fight powerful enemies and to keep peace in the galaxy. The discovery was incredible. The humans had built a fleet that was lost in time, a fleet that could change the balance of power. But the team soon realized that not all was safe. The fleet had been abandoned for a reason. A great enemy had forced the humans to leave it behind. Suddenly, alarms rang. The ships around them began to shake. The team was not alone. Something was coming. Something dangerous. They had to act fast. The lost fleet might still be powerful, but it needed humans to bring it back. The story had just begun. The fleet was not only a weapon, it was a symbol of human strength, courage, and hope. The galaxy would soon learn that laughing at the lost fleet was the biggest mistake they could make. The humans aboard the ancient fleet felt a sudden chill. The old ships had stirred, but something was not right. As the alarms echoed softly, through the corridors the explorers knew they had awakened something long forgotten. Outside the windows the stars twinkled coldly, but inside, the quiet held a deeper tension. The team moved quickly, but carefully. Their footsteps echoed in the hollow halls of the Dreadnought. They searched for the source of the strange signals that had suddenly come alive. The ship's systems were old, some parts barely working, but others seemed almost new, as if the fleet had been waiting for this moment. The lead engineer, a woman named Lila, tapped her fingers on the control panel. "These ships, they're starting to power up. Not all at once, but piece by piece," she said. Her voice was calm, but there was excitement beneath her words. "This means the fleet's core systems still have life." The captain of the team, Marcus, nodded. "If we can bring the fleet back, it will change everything. We need to find out who left it here and why, and more importantly, why it was abandoned." As they explored deeper, they found records hidden in encrypted files. The messages were ancient, written in a language humans barely remembered, but the technology to translate them was advanced. Slowly, the team began to uncover the story of the fleet. Long ago, humans were not as they were now. They had traveled far beyond their solar system, building a great defense against a threat no one could fully explain. The fleet was their shield, made to protect planets and star systems from an unknown force. But over time, this force became too strong. Battles were fought in silence, far away from known space. The humans lost contact with their own fleet, and it vanished into the dark. Many in the galaxy believed the fleet was lost forever, a legend at best. But the humans on this mission knew better. Their ancestors had built it with purpose. It was more than just ships. It was hope. Hope that one day, when the galaxy needed them most, the fleet would return. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared on the main screen. The message was clear. The fleet's control system was trying to reconnect with its pilots. The ancient ships were waiting for someone to command them again. "What does it say?" asked Jalen, the young scientist on the team. Lila read carefully. "It's a call for help, a warning actually. It says, 'The enemy returns. Be ready.'" The word sent a ripple through the crew. The enemy mentioned was never clearly defined, but the threat was real. The fleet had been built for this moment, and the humans had just reawakened it. Marcus took a deep breath. "We have to prepare. We are the only ones who can bring the fleet back, but we need more information. We must find the fleet's heart, the command center, and learn how to control all the ships." They moved toward the deepest part of the dreadnought, where the main controls lay hidden beneath layers of forgotten technology. As they descended, the team felt the weight of history pressing on their shoulders. This was more than a mission. It was a chance to rewrite the future. Outside, strange signals began to pulse through space. The stars around them flickered as if warning of something approaching. The crew did not know what awaited them, but they understood one thing. The lost fleet was not just a relic. It was a key to survival, and the galaxy would soon remember why humans had once built it, not as conquerors, but as protectors. The soft hum of the ancient ship's systems grew louder as the crew ventured deeper into the heart of the fleet. The walls around them bore faint marks, scratches, symbols, and signs left by those who had once called this place home. It was a silent story told by time itself, waiting for someone to understand. Marcus looked around, feeling a mix of awe and determination. Every step took them closer to secrets that could change everything they knew about humanity's past. Lila worked quickly at the controls, her fingers dancing over panels that flickered with old and new lights. "The fleet is waking up faster than I expected," she said quietly. "If we don't hurry, something else might notice us." Jalen scanned the data streams flowing from the ship's core. "There's more here than just old systems. This place is alive in a way I didn't think possible. The technology, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's almost like the ship is learning." Suddenly, the corridor lights dimmed, replaced by a soft blue glow coming from the far end. The team stopped, eyes fixed on the source. The glow grew brighter, and in its center, a holographic figure appeared. It was an image of a person, dressed in an old-style uniform, looking calm and serious. The hologram spoke, its voice steady and clear. "Welcome, travelers. I am Captain Aaron, last commander of this fleet. You have awakened us from a long slumber." Marcus stepped forward, his voice steady. "Captain Aaron, we want to understand. Why was this fleet abandoned? And what is the enemy that you warned us about?" The hologram's face darkened slightly. "Long ago, our enemies were unlike any you know. They were not driven by greed or conquest, but by a desire to erase life itself. We fought to protect the future of all species. The fleet was our shield." Jalen's eyes widened. "How did you lose contact? Why was the fleet left here?" Aaron's image flickered. "A great sacrifice was made. To save the fleet and those it protected, we sent it away, hidden in the depths of space, cloaked from all detection. Our hope was that one day, when the threat returned, the fleet would be found by those worthy enough to command it." Lila shook her head slowly. "But why humans? Why us?" The captain's gaze softened. "Because humans possess a strength, not only of body but of spirit, the will to survive, to protect, and to rise again. You carry the legacy of those who built this fleet." The crew absorbed the weight of the message. It was not just a mission now. It was a responsibility, a call to rise up against dangers that lurked in the shadows of the galaxy. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a faint signal, something moving closer, just beyond the fleet's reach. The crew held their breath. They knew the ancient enemy might be returning. The time to prepare was now. Marcus turned to his team. "We must restore the fleet's power and learn to command these ships. We have no choice. The galaxy needs us." Lila nodded, determination clear in her eyes. "I'll start the system's restart. It won't be easy, but it's the only way." The crew worked. The ancient fleet around them seemed to come alive. Engines stirred, lights blinked on, and the vast ships began to hum with renewed energy. It was as if the fleet itself remembered its purpose: to protect, to defend, and to fight for the future. Outside, stars shone bright, but a shadow moved closer. The galaxy was watching. The lost fleet was no longer forgotten. It had returned. And with it, hope. The ancient ships hummed softly, their power slowly returning as the crew worked tirelessly in the dim light of the control room. Every system they touched seemed to awaken memories buried deep inside the fleet. Memories of journeys long past and promises made to protect the galaxy. The air was thick with a mix of hope and tension as the humans realized the weight of what they were doing. Marcus stood at the center of the bridge, eyes scanning the flickering displays. "We're not just waking up machines," he said quietly. "We're waking up a part of ourselves, a past we thought was lost." Lila's hands flew over the consoles, her voice steady but full of urgency. "Most of the core systems are online. The ships are responding. But the fleet needs a commander, someone who can unite these vessels as one." Jalen looked at the data streams with wide eyes. "It's like the fleet has its own mind. It's adapting to us, learning who we are." Suddenly, a new message appeared on the main screen. It was a warning, an alert from deep space, something large and slow-moving, yet powerful. The fleet's sensors had picked up an unknown object approaching. The crew's faces grew serious. This was no ordinary ship or asteroid. The fleet had been built to face a threat like this. Marcus spoke to the team. "We need to understand what we're facing. Lila, can you send a scout probe to get a closer look?" Without hesitation, Lila launched a small craft from the dock bay. The probe moved silently through space, approaching the mysterious object. As the team watched, the object came into focus. A massive, shadowy shape, unlike any known vessel. Jalen leaned forward, studying the readings. "It's old, but it's moving with purpose. There's no life signs we can detect, but the energy it emits is strong." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. This could be the enemy the ancient captain warned about, a silent force returning after centuries of waiting. The probe sent back images showing strange geometric patterns on the surface of the object. It looked like a fortress made of metal and light, something built to last through the ages. Marcus's voice was calm but firm. "We have to prepare. The fleet needs to be ready for anything. We don't know what this is, but it's coming closer and we can't ignore it." Lila nodded. "I'm running diagnostics on the fleet's weapons and defense systems. They're ancient but still functional. We just need to bring them fully online." As they worked, the human crew felt a bond growing between them and the lost fleet. It was no longer just a machine. It was a guardian, waiting for humans to lead it once again. Outside the ships, space was quiet, but filled with tension. The mysterious object moved steadily closer, its dark silhouette growing against the backdrop of stars. Marcus turned to his team. "This is bigger than any one of us. The fleet was built to protect not just Earth but the whole galaxy. We are its new guardians now." The crew prepared for what lay ahead, knowing their journey was just beginning. The ancient fleet, long forgotten and mocked by many, was waking, and with it a new hope was rising. The air inside the ancient command center was thick with anticipation. The human crew worked side by side with the revived technology, their fingers tracing the controls of machines older than most of the stars they gazed upon. Marcus stood at the forefront, watching the energy flows pulse through the ship's veins. Each ship of the fleet was slowly coming to life, and with it, the promise of a new beginning. Outside, the mysterious object loomed closer, its presence undeniable. It moved with quiet purpose, its geometric patterns reflecting faint light like a giant relic drifting through the void. The crew's scanners picked up no signs of life, yet the object radiated an energy that seemed almost alive. Lila's eyes flickered over the data, her voice low but clear. This object isn't just moving randomly. It's following a course that brings it closer to us, almost like it's searching. Jalen's fingers danced over the control panel. We've seen signals before, strange pulses deep in space, but nothing like this. It's as if this object is connected to the fleet in ways we don't yet understand. Marcus took a deep breath. We have to be ready. Whatever this is, it's drawn to the fleet, or maybe to us. We must unlock the fleet's full potential before it arrives. The crew doubled their efforts, bringing more ships back online. Engines roared to life, old lights flickered into bright colors, and the fleet's systems hummed with renewed vigor. The ancient ships, once forgotten and mocked, now stood proud as a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. As they worked, Lila discovered something remarkable. A hidden control panel deep in the command center. It wasn't just a part of the fleet's navigation. It was a key, designed to link all ships' systems into one seamless mind. This could be the command interface, she whispered, her voice tinged with awe. If we can activate this, the fleet will act as one, coordinated, powerful, unstoppable. Marcus moved to her side, watching as she carefully activated the panel. Lights danced across the control surface and a soft vibration ran through the ship's hull. Suddenly, the entire fleet pulsed with light. It was as if the ships had awakened from a long dream, their hearts beating in unison once more. Outside, the mysterious object stopped its approach, hovering silently. The tension was thick. The moment had come. Marcus looked at his team, his eyes fierce but calm. We don't know what this is yet, but we're ready to face it. The fleet is ours to command, and we will protect the future. The crew stood together, united by a shared purpose. The lost fleet was no longer a forgotten myth. It was a living legacy, a beacon of hope for the galaxy. As the mysterious object and the fleet faced each other across the endless dark, the first steps of a new chapter began. The stars stretched endlessly around the ancient fleet, their light soft and steady, yet the silence held a promise, a moment of change that was about to unfold. The crew stood firm on the bridge, watching the mysterious object hover just beyond their sensors, its dark shape contrasting against the bright cosmos. Marcus breathed deeply, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This was the moment they had prepared for, the moment when the lost fleet would finally fulfill its purpose. He looked around at his team, Lila, Jalen, and the others, their faces a mix of hope and determination. The fleet hummed beneath, their feet alive and ready as the command interface pulsed softly. The ancient ships moved as one, their systems fully linked, responding instantly to every command. It was as if the fleet itself had remembered its mission after centuries of silence. A new message appeared on the main screen, not a warning this time, but an invitation. The mysterious object had sent a signal, a pattern of light and sound that was almost like a greeting. The crew exchanged surprised looks. Could this be a chance to communicate instead of confront? Jalen studied the signal carefully. It's complex, but it looks like a code, something designed to test our response, maybe even to invite a dialogue. Marcus nodded slowly. We don't know what it wants, but we need to try. The fleet was built to protect, but not to destroy without reason. Let's see if we can find a peaceful path. Lila prepared the communication systems. I'm sending a reply, a signal that says we are here, ready to listen. The fleet's lights brightened in response, sending back pulses of energy as their message traveled across the dark space. Seconds felt like hours as the crew waited. Then the mysterious object changed. Its shape shifted subtly, lights flickering in patterns that matched the fleet's own. It was a response. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "We've made contact." The fleet and the object began a silent dance, exchanging signals and light patterns that spoke of old knowledge and new hopes. The crew realized this was no enemy waiting to attack, but a forgotten ally reaching out across the void. As the communication deepened, memories long lost began to surface. Stories of cooperation, shared struggles, and the promise of a future where humans and others would stand together. The ancient fleet had been more than a weapon. It was a symbol of unity. Marcus spoke softly. "We were never meant to fight alone. This fleet is a bridge, not a wall. Together we can face what lies ahead." Outside, the stars continued to shine, their light touching every corner of the galaxy. The lost fleet had returned not just to defend, but to reconnect, to heal, and to guide. The journey was far from over, but the first step had been taken, a step toward a future built on hope, courage, and the enduring spirit of humanity.